My name is Vanessa, and the moment I found the pregnancy test hidden in our guest bathroom trash, my world didn't shatter, it sharpened into something. Cold and focused, because I already knew it wasn't mine. I hadn't been pregnant in years, and the only other woman in this house was Lily, our teenage babysitter, the girl I trusted with my child, the girl who laughed at my dinner table like family. I didn't confront anyone. That night I waited, I watched, I listened, and what I heard through the half-closed study door the next evening changed everything. His voice low, urgent, telling her this had to stay between them, that he would handle it, that no one needed to know. She sounded scared, asking what about the baby, and he said don't worry, I'll fix it. The way he said fix it made my skin crawl, but what hit harder was the realization. This wasn't panic, this was practice. He had a plan, and she was already trapped. I didn't scream, I didn't cry, I started collecting every piece of truth. I could find messages on his old tablet emails. He forgot to log out of late-night calls, logged under a fake contact name, receipts from a clinic 3 towns over, everything lined up to clean. Too intentional. And then I found the final piece, a drafted message to Lily, telling her he'd tell me she seduced him if she didn't cooperate. That was when fear turned into something else, something steady. I called a lawyer the next morning, and then I called Lily, not to accuse, not to attack, but to tell her she wasn't alone when she came over. She looked smaller than I remembered, eyes red, hands shaking. And when I showed her the evidence, her silence broke into sobs. She told me everything, how it started, how he promised her it was love, how he convinced her no one would believe her anyway. That's when I told her we were going to make sure everyone would believe her. I set the stage, carefully invited his parents, his closest friends, even a colleague he respected under the excuse of a small dinner. Something casual, something normal. He walked in smiling, confident like always, like nothing could touch him, and for a moment I almost envied that certainty, before I placed the folder in the center of the table and said, since we're all here, I think the truth deserves witnesses. His smile slipped as page after page spoke for me, messages, timelines, records, even the draft threat. His voice cracked as he tried to twist it, call it a misunderstanding, blame her, blame me, blame anyone, but the room had already shifted the weight of it. Too heavy to ignore, Lily stood beside me, not hiding anymore, and for the first time, he had no control, no story left to sell. I filed for divorce the next day, secured protection for her, and made sure every step forward was documented and safe. But the real shock came a week later, when Lily's mother reached out to thank me and told me something I hadn't known. My husband had approached their family months before, offering extra help with money and school support if Lily kept babysitting more hours. Closer to him, longer nights. It wasn't an accident, it was a setup, and suddenly everything felt even darker, but also clearer. I didn't just expose him. I stopped something that could have gone even further, and as I stood in the quiet of my now empty house, I asked myself the only question that mattered. Did I do the right thing, or did I cross a line? Tell me honestly, would you have done the same?